Bitcoin is pumping. The market is on absolute fire and everyone is freaking out watching the price go up and up and up. We blasted through an all-time high, and the million-dollar question is, will this huge pump continue? What do we expect to happen? We're going to be covering the latest and greatest with this candle that just printed that has a huge clue as if this is going to continue or not. Middle of our screen, Bitcoin plowed through this yellow line, signaling phase 3 of this bull run. Will that continue? What are the signals telling us here? And most importantly is the star of the show, the Stochastic RSI with momentum to the upside. Is this pump going to continue? We're going to be covering the facts in the charts. Do you want more altcoin coverage? I'm doing an exclusive bonus trade alert video for free on our email list with Cardano ADA. The comments were flooded with begging for Cardano ADA. Wait till you see what I'm about to show you. Completely free on our email list. Go to cryptocrewuniversity.com. If you're not on our email list, sign up there. You do not want to miss what I'm about to show you. Let's jump into it. We're on the Bitcoin US dollar index. We are on the weekly chart. We're going to break this down into 3 categories. We got price action above with the candle that just printed hot off the press. In the middle of our screen, the RSI tilting to the downside. Do we have some problems? And then the Stochastic RSI at the bottom of our screen. Our momentum is looking strong. Let's start with price action above. What we see happening on the weekly scale is you look at the candles. When you look at the candles, I want you to pay attention to the wicks. The wicks tell the story, the candles tell the facts. When we got into this price area here, we printed this red candle with this large wick on the upside. That had momentum heading down. Why? This large wick just essentially says like, hey, there was a lot of people taking profits. When a lot of people take profits, it pushes price further down in the following candles, meaning price continued to fall. Then we printed this beautiful candle here. That's when we had momentum back to the upside. You see this big wick on the downside? That big wick on the downside said a lot of people with heavy pockets are taking a long position. This was the selling. This was the buying. We had a lot of buying coming in, and boy, did price take off. Most recently, we printed this candle. Big body, but a wick to the downside. Not an enormous wick, but enough of a wick to say, hey, there is still buying pressure. People bought this up. This price level here of about 60K all the way up until about 63K, this was bought up. This was heavy bought up, which means we still have momentum to the upside. Keep in mind, this was a brand new candle. So our candles are saying, hey, by the way, Bitcoin is at an official all-time high. The market's on fire. Everyone's going crazy. And I'm a man of my word. I told you if Bitcoin reaches an all-time high before the halving, I have a message for you. I'm going to deliver it later in the video. We still have momentum to the upside. We've been flirting hard with that all-time high. When are we going to finally break free from that? Not just flirting with the all-time high, you know, going above, coming back down, going above, going back down. It's like a room full of pretty girls in high school when you're not sure what to do. There's pretty girls there flirting hard. When is Bitcoin going to actually close the deal instead of just the flirting? We're going to take a look at it, and it comes to the middle of our screen, the RSI. The RSI made a major breakthrough of this yellow zone. This yellow zone on the weekly RSI is at about 84. And what's happened previously is every single time in phase 2 of the market, we get rejected from this yellow line, dating all the way back to 2012. Phase 2 of the run, come up, get rejected. Phase 2, 2016, rejected from this 84 level on the weekly RSI. 2020, same story, rejected from this 84 level. And this was no different. 2023, we came up to this line, and this is what we expected, a rejection here. What was really interesting is we finally broke through this yellow line, confirming one thing and one thing only. If you look at our past, we only broke through this yellow line when we entered phase 3. 2016, we only broke through this yellow line when we entered phase 3. 2020, we only broke through this yellow line when we entered phase 3. So here we are having a key sign that Bitcoin has entered a more parabolic phase of of the market cycle, phase 3. This phase of the market cycle flirts very, very hard with the all-time high. And what is important about this phase is that we remain above this yellow line. The reason why is if you look closely at the RSI, we're starting to see some curvature. We're starting to see some momentum start to move sideways instead of that bullishness to the upside. We're starting to see some potential moves to the downside here with the RSI. We're currently getting some resistance about 88. Keep in mind, anytime you get up to those areas on a weekly chart, this is incredibly overbought, which means the high majority of people are buying at these levels. And it's not very often that we're above these levels. Tilt your phone to the side and subscribe. So if you look at the weekly chart of Bitcoin's entire history, it's a very small amount of time that we spent above this yellow line. Just looking at the facts, right? It's not like 50% of the time we spent above this yellow line. It's not even 40%. It's not even 30%. It's not even 20%. It's a small snippet of time. Only a handful of times in Bitcoin's history have we even gotten above this yellow line. So right now, we're incredibly overextended. That's not my opinion. Those are just the facts screaming from the chart. So the $1 million question is, can this market continue? We've been flirting hard with the RSI. We also have some momentum on our side, which we're going to get to in a moment, but we are overextended. Make no mistake about it. Now, how overextended, you ask? Well, how many times in Bitcoin's history have we gotten above the RSI level that we're at now? Once here in 2021, this candle right here, as we are on our way to the all-time high. Also, 2 times back here, slightly above in June of 2017 and December of 2017, our top. So if you just look at the past 6 years, we have 3 data points that are above this level, meaning more overextended, meaning more overbought than we are right now. We are at one of the most historically overbought areas of Bitcoin's entire history. Make no mistake about it. And the high majority of them came early on in that first cycle when the market was just ridiculously hot. Back in that 2011, 2010, 2012, 2013, that's when the market was ridiculously hot, and that is when we had the most overbought of Bitcoin's history. Since then, there's literally 3 data points since 2016. So in the last 8 years, we've had 3 times be hotter of a market than we are right now. So we've got to take a deep breath. We have to understand, okay, we need to remain level-headed at these points. Every single time that we got above here before, we had a pretty large and healthy correction. So we have to keep that in mind. For those folks that think for months from now, we're just going to continue to go up, markets don't work like that. You never want to get too excited on the way up, and you don't want to get too depressed on the way down. You want to remain level-headed, but make no mistake, the market is very overextended. However, we do have momentum on our side as we speak. The blue line is on top, which means we have price action generally rise when the blue line is on top, and price action generally fall when this orange line is on top. We had a weekly cross back here in February. It was a cross that had some concern. Almost all of the stochastic RSI crosses happen below the 20 level. Just look at the past handful of years. Every single time below the 20 level. This was one that was not above the 20 level, which is why we haven't built market structure. This was a little bit of a red flag, and the market is really hot, really overextended. All of these things are highly important to keep in mind. However, the bullish case for Bitcoin right now, in terms of that high level of flirting we're doing with the all-time high, is we have this wick at the bottom of our candle, which is good. People bought that up. We should have momentum to the upside. With our literal momentum, we do have it. This can change at any time. And in the span of the next week, if we have a cross down or cross up, we need to wait for it to confirm. Next Sunday evening, 11:59 UTC time, this will confirm. But right now, we have momentum on our side, plain and simple. We have momentum with our price action and the stochastic RSI. And we're above here. If anything happens, we want to remain above this yellow line, right? And the worst case scenario, the structure that we have here at 75. That's what we see happening in Bitcoin at the moment. By the way, as Bitcoin is at an official all-time high, I have something important to share with you. I showed you this chart about the halving, and I said our channel is based on facts. We don't make predictions, but based on the facts in the charts, we've had several halvings. None of them had an all-time high before the halving. So we said, based on the facts in the charts, it's not likely that we get an all-time high before the halving. Is it possible? Sure. With anything, Bitcoin is possible. But is it probable? Not probable, based on pure facts. And I said, if Bitcoin did reach an all-time high before the halving, I will sit here, I will raise my hand, and I will say, this time is different. I know that will make a lot of people happy, and it was different in terms of just specifically the price with the halving. If you study market structure like I do, all of the market structure is right on course. For example, right here, as soon as we dip below this area, it's one candle after the all-time high. It took us 1,000 days to get back above this channel. As soon as we did, that was literally the point, the exact point, we moved into phase 3. But it took 1,000 days to get there. The next market cycle, we entered this channel right here, one candle after the all-time high. It literally took us 1,000 days to get back above this channel. As soon as we did at this precise candle, it was the time that entered phase 3. 2024 was no different. We entered this zone right here, one candle after the all-time high. It took us 1,000 days to recover. As soon as we got above here, it was literally us entering phase 3. So is this time different? Not really in terms of all of the charts, but in terms of a new all-time high before the halving, it is different then. I raise my hand. I tell you this time is different. All of the people that have been commenting for 7 years, this is the first time that it's actually been different in terms of a price being an all-time high before the halving. What I want you to do is remain level-headed. Yes, we're at an official new all-time high. It's very exciting. I want you to never get too excited on the way up. Enjoy these moments because you lived through the bear market and it was painful. You deserve a round of applause, but just remain level-headed. You're going to have the biggest urge to buy now because we're at the extreme greed territory. Anytime we're in extreme greed, you have the biggest urge to buy. But those people who are patient are going to make the most money. Money always moves from impatient hands to patient hands. Remember that. This time is different. New all-time high before halving, but let's remain level-headed. The market structure is right on course and the market is hot. Things are heating up. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you right back here in the next video. Do you want more altcoin coverage? I'm doing an exclusive bonus trade alert video for free on our email list with Cardano ADA. The comments were flooded with begging for Cardano ADA. Wait till you see what I'm about to show you. Completely free on our email list. Go to cryptocrewuniversity.com. If you're not on our email list, sign up there. You do not want to miss what I'm about to show you.